Do you know what that mysterious white dome on every U.S. Navy warship actually does? The one that looks like a 2D2? You might think it's cute. You might think it's just decoration. But what if I told you it's the most terrifying last resort weapon system ever mounted on a ship, and when it fires, it means every other defense has already failed? That white dome houses a 20mm Gatling gun that fires 4,500 rounds per minute. That's 75 rounds per second. And it's the last thing an enemy missile sees before being shredded into confetti. This is the CIWS Phalanx, the close-in weapon system, and it only fires when everything else has failed. Understanding naval defense, defense in depth. To understand why the Phalanx exists, you need to understand how a Navy ship defends itself. It's called defense in depth, multiple layers of protection, each one closer to the ship than the last. Layer 1, long range, hundreds of miles out, SM-2 and SM-6 missiles intercept threats before they get anywhere close. This is the first wall. Layer 2, medium range, evolved Sea Sparrow missiles, ESSM, handle threats that leak through the first layer, with an engagement range of about 30 miles. Layer 3, short-range electronic warfare, chaff, decoys, and jammers confuse the missiles and make them miss. Layer 4, last resort, the missile has dodged everything. It's seconds from impact, screaming toward the ship at Mach 0.9. That's when the Phalanx wakes up. And here's the terrifying part: if the Phalanx is firing, it means every other defense system has failed. The SM-2s missed. The ESSMs missed. The jammers didn't work. Phalanx is literally the last thing standing between an incoming missile and 300 sailors. How does a gun stop a supersonic missile? So how does a gun, a physical gun, stop a missile traveling at the speed of sound? The Phalanx CIWS, designated Mark 15, is what the Navy calls a detect-to-engage autonomous weapon system. Every word of that description matters. That white dome houses 2 radar systems. The search radar scans continuously, looking for incoming threats. When it finds one, it hands it off to the tracking radar, a high-precision Ku-band radar that locks onto the target and feeds data to the fire control computer. The computer calculates the missile's trajectory, speed, and time to impact. It predicts where the missile will be in the next fraction of a second and aims the gun not at where the missile is, but where it's going to be. The weapon, M61A1 Vulcan. The gun itself is an M61A1 Vulcan, a 6-barrel Gatling cannon firing 20mm tungsten armor-piercing rounds. The Block 1B version fires at 4,500 rounds per minute. The barrels rotate using an external motor, with no need to wait for propellant gas to cycle the action. Each round weighs about half a pound and exits the barrel at 3,600 feet per second, roughly Mach 3. At that velocity, a 20mm tungsten penetrator hits with enough kinetic energy to punch through the casing of an anti-ship missile and detonate its warhead prematurely. The engineering genius, closed-loop spotting. But here's the engineering genius that makes Phalanx actually work. The system uses something called closed-loop spotting. It tracks both the incoming missile and its own outgoing rounds simultaneously. If the stream of bullets is drifting off target, the computer adjusts the aim in real time. Think about what that means. The gun is literally watching its own bullets fly and correcting its aim multiple times per second. It's shooting, observing, adjusting, and shooting again, all in fractions of a second. The engagement window. The effective engagement range is classified, but it's estimated at about 1 to 2 miles. At that range, a missile traveling at Mach 0.9 will reach the ship in approximately 4 to 8 seconds. Phalanx has to detect, track, aim, fire, observe, adjust, and destroy the target in that window. 4 to 8 seconds. That's it. Autonomous engagement, no human required. And here's the part that makes Phalanx different from every other weapon on the ship. It can do all of this without any human involvement. Phalanx has multiple operating modes, but the one that gets everyone's attention is auto-engage. In auto-engage mode, Phalanx operates completely autonomously, no human in the loop. The system detects the threat, classifies it, calculates the firing solution, and fires, all by itself. A robot with a Gatling gun making its own kill decisions on a ship full of sailors. Before you panic, the system has extensive safety protocols. Phalanx maintains a continuously updated kill box, a defined volume of space where it's authorized to engage. The system will not fire at contacts outside this box. It also has identification friend or foe, IFF, filters to avoid shooting down friendly aircraft. But in the heat of combat, when multiple missiles are inbound and human reaction time simply isn't fast enough, auto mode is the only option. Combat proven in the Red Sea. And this isn't hypothetical. Phalanx has engaged real threats in combat. In the Red Sea, starting in late 2023, U.S. Navy destroyers have faced sustained Houthi attacks, anti-ship cruise missiles and drones launched from Yemen. While SM-2 missiles handle most of the incoming threats, multiple reports indicate that CIWS Phalanx has been used as the final layer of defense. Former sailors describe the sound as a buzzsaw. The entire ship vibrates. The gun fires in bursts, each burst sending dozens of rounds downrange in less than a second. One sailor on a Burke-class destroyer in the Red Sea described hearing the Phalanx fire for the first time in actual combat. You know what that sound means? It means everything else missed. It means the missile is close. You just pray that the little white dome does its job. Why everyone calls it a 2D2? Let's address the nickname. Every sailor in the Navy calls the Phalanx R2D2, and honestly, the resemblance is uncanny. White cylindrical body, dome on top, mounted on the deck of a ship. It even rotates like R2. The nickname stuck decades ago, and it's never going away. But R2D2 was an astromech droid. Phalanx is a Gatling gun with a radar and a computer brain that's authorized to kill without asking permission. So maybe the comparison isn't perfect. The modern threat, Phalanx has a problem. Now the serious part, Phalanx has a problem. When Phalanx was designed in the 1970s, the primary threat was subsonic anti-ship missiles, sea-skimming exocets, and Soviet Styx missiles. Targets moving at Mach 0.8 to 0.9. Modern threats are faster. Chinese YJ-18 anti-ship missiles have a terminal sprint phase above Mach 2. Russian Zircon missiles approach Mach 8. Against a hypersonic target, Phalanx's engagement window shrinks from seconds to fractions of a second. 20mm tungsten rounds are lethal against a subsonic missile, but against a Mach 5+ target, you need something with more reach. Enter CRAM. Enter CRAM. CRAM takes the Phalanx radar and fire control system, the part that works brilliantly, and replaces the Gatling gun with an 11-round rolling airframe missile, RAM, launcher. RAM missiles are supersonic, infrared-guided, fire-and-forget interceptors. They have greater range than the Phalanx gun, can engage faster targets, and have a higher probability of kill against modern threats. CRAM is currently installed on littoral combat ships, amphibious assault ships, and is being added to more platforms across the fleet. On some ships, the Navy installs both CRAM for longer-range interlayer defense and Phalanx as the absolute last-ditch backup. Two autonomous weapon systems, two different kill mechanisms, both firing without human input, both standing guard 24/7. The future, directed energy weapons. But the future of close-in defense isn't guns or missiles. It's something that travels at the speed of light. The Navy is actively deploying directed energy weapons, lasers, as the next generation of close-in defense. The HELIOS system, high-energy laser with integrated optical dazzler and surveillance, is already installed on Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. It can engage drones, small boats, and potentially missiles at the speed of light. No ammunition. No magazine to run dry. As long as the ship has electrical power, and a nuclear-powered ship has plenty, the laser can keep firing. Against drone swarms, a laser is perfect. Each shot costs about $1 in electricity. Compare that to a $2 million SM-2 missile to shoot down a $2,000 drone. The math doesn't work with missiles. With lasers, it's almost free. But lasers can't replace Phalanx, yet. But lasers can't replace Phalanx. Not yet. Lasers struggle in rain, fog, and sea spray. They need time on target to burn through a missile's casing. Against a supersonic target at close range, there may not be enough dwell time. So the future isn't lasers or Phalanx. It's lasers and Phalanx and CRAM, layers upon layers upon layers. Because in naval combat, there's no such thing as too much defense. There's only enough defense and not enough. 75 rounds per second. 4,500 rounds per minute. A closed-loop robot gunner that tracks its own bullets and adjusts aim in real time. The CIWS Phalanx, the little white dome that sailors pray they never hear fire. Because if the Phalanx is shooting, everything else has already failed. And that buzzing, vibrating, terrifying sound is the last line of defense between an incoming missile and the crew. R2-D2 with a Gatling gun, watching, waiting, ready. If you found this deep dive into naval defense systems as fascinating as we did, welcome to War News, your source for in-depth analysis of military technology, strategy, and modern warfare. We break down the most advanced weapon systems on the planet so you understand not just what they do, but how and why they work. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to War News so you never miss our latest coverage of cutting-edge military tech. And if you want to see the weapon that reaches out and touches someone from 1,000 miles away, check out our video on Tomahawk cruise missiles next. Stay informed. Stay ahead. This is War News.